If you read this quote by Galactus and bought into the notion that he is not evil, then I'm sorry to break it to you, but you fell for propaganda because this quote comes from possibly the most evil iteration of Galactus that we have ever seen. And that's because that quote comes from the very last page of Supervillain Classics #1 penned by Jack Kirby. Keep that in mind. Now, the full quote goes, "Though I ravage worlds to live, I bear no malice towards any living thing. I simply do what I must to survive. And why must Galactus survive? For no matter how many worlds I devour, how many civilizations I destroy, it is my destiny to one day give back to the universe, infinitely more than I have ever taken from it. So speaks Galactus." Now, I'm not going to sit here and argue over the fact that Galactus needs to eat planets with life or planets with the potential of life to survive, because he does. If he doesn't, eventually he will die off. So in that sense, he is beyond conventional notions of good and evil. However, what makes this specific iteration of Galactus evil is the fact that he says he is destined to give back to the universe. And in this same issue, we get an idea of what exactly he means by that. So literally 3 pages before he said any of that, we got to see his reaction to the very first world that he had ever consumed, and he reacted with remorse. And so as a way to kind of atone for the destruction that he caused, he vowed to restore that world to its former grandeur and make it actually better than it was before. Now, this is where things became a little bit weird, because once we actually got to see Galactus restore this world to its former glory and make it even better, we realized that he just rebuilt his own home planet. Now, just to put that into perspective, imagine if in our world, Country A invaded Country B, and Country A completely decimated the land and population of Country B, and afterwards they felt bad and they said, hey, you know what? We're going to help you guys rebuild, and we're going to make you guys even better. And then after they made them better, they just remade Country A where Country B used to be. Now, with that added context, doesn't that just make this whole monologue just a little bit more ominous? Because not only do we not know what giving back to the universe actually means to Galactus, but also this justification isn't coming from an impartial text box, but it's coming from the guy doing the destruction himself. Nah, Ty, that sounds ridiculous. You're reaching. Am I? Because remember I said this was written by Jack Kirby? He's the son of 2 Jewish immigrants who lived through World War II. And he himself served during World War II. Not only that, this is how he described what Galactus was actually doing to these planets. Now, this is not me saying that every iteration of Galactus is like this. However, using this statement in particular to say that Galactus is not evil definitely does not help your argument.